Ready to go? Good morning, everybody. This is George Garnica, and we here at Olin Deming Plant take pride in participating in this wonderful event today. And we thank the New Mexico Workforce Solutions and Connections for making this event possible. Yes, as you can see with our slide that we are hiring, and we have a need for many of you to join and come on board as soon as possible. We have Mario Maldonado, an HR manager based in Illinois, and I, George Garnica, the HR plant manager here in Deming. We are partnering to tell you a little bit about the company, about the employment opportunities, the benefits available, a bit about our COVID discipline, and basically how to apply for the many positions, many opportunities that we have here at Deming. But before we do that, I wanted to make sure that you know a little bit about the company. And not long ago, we used to be called Miscon, but we're proud to be part of a great family of company. Olin. Mario?
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Again, I'm Mario Maldonado. I'm based out of Chicago. Been working for Olin for about 2 years now. So to tell you a little bit of history on the company itself, you may not recognize or heard of Olin, but we are actually very big. We're a global company around the world. We employ over 80,000 employees, and we're in more than 70 countries around the world. We're a leading food and agri business in which we supply food ingredients worldwide. So some of our ingredients that we do have our hands in is cocoa, coffee, cotton, nuts, spices, and obviously your chili pepper plant down here in New Mexico. We like to consider ourselves the king of chili peppers now, since we acquired this plant down here in New Mexico. So that's a pretty big deal for us. Our global headquarters is actually located in Singapore, and our CEO's name is Sunny. We do have a North American headquarters and a corporate office, and it is located in Fresno, California. So that's our North American, I guess, hub, as you want to call it. But to speak a little bit about, I guess, the value chain, as this slide has up here. So one of the key things is we kind of own the whole process of whatever we do. So what I mean by that is, like, we crop the crops, right? We have farmers out there that pick it, and then we ship it to whatever location we need to. We process it, and then obviously we package it and ship it out to all of our customers. So we own that whole process, okay, from the beginning to the end. For instance, my factory in Chicago is a cocoa facility. So we have Olin in Africa, and they ship us overseas our cocoa cake, and we grind it down into a cocoa powder form. And so, for instance, Oreos or Swiss Miss hot chocolate or cake mix on your grocery store shelf, it has our cocoa ingredient in there, right? So most of the things you do buy at a grocery store probably have one of our ingredients in there, right? Even with spices, McCormick is a big spices, probably has one of our spices in that little container that you buy to season your steak or your chicken. So those are things that Olin owns, I guess, and so that's our value chain right there. Next slide, George, please. Our next is our culture and our values. So this is very important. So we were founded in 1989. So it's not a very old company for the size of it. So you're thinking, what, 40, 50 years, and now we have 80,000 employees, right? So in order to do something like this, entrepreneurship had to be a big thing, right? So we dare to dream. So that's one of our values, our core values. From there, it kind of goes hand in hand with stretch and ambition, right? Someone that's very ambitious is probably gonna set goals that a regular person is gonna be like, there's no way you could do that, right? So obviously Sunny had something in him to create something like this, right? From there, we move on to partnerships, and that's more of developing positive relationships with our partners. So customers, coworkers, whoever may be that is part of the Olin organization, we want to build those relationships. So not only if we have a big client, we want to retain that client. We want to get more business from that particular client, right? Next is mutual respect and teamwork, and this is a key thing anywhere you work, right? If you respect your coworkers or the employees that you work with, and you work as a team, you're usually going to reach your common goal in whatever you set out to be, right? Integrity and ownership to me also go hand in hand, because usually if you say you're going to do something, we hope that you're going to live up to your word, right? And that's integrity, right? And if you do have integrity, that means you're probably going to take ownership in whatever you do, right? So if I tell George that, I already know George is going to take care of something, when he says he's going to take care of something, then I don't have to worry about that person taking care of that, right? So building that trust between you and your team or your coworkers. So those are our 6 values, and that's basically what we believe in here at Olum.
In a little bit, I'll have the chance to answer any questions that our visitors may have, but I just wanted to make sure is that for those Spanish-speaking people, me gustaría mucho de escuchar de ustedes después con toda pregunta que tengan. Tendré mucho gusto en responder a sus preguntas. Y aquí podemos explicarles mucho más acerca de la compañía, de nuestros productos y de las oportunidades que tenemos de empleo. The Olum Deming plant, obviously I'm proud to be a member of this plant. I'm somewhat of a newcomer to New Mexico, and I have already embraced the culture and the food, of course. There's plenty to eat here in this area. And of course, what meal could go without chilies and jalapenos, right? So right now, the Deming plant is an icon, is a pillar in the industry, in the business, in the region. And right now, the plant processes over 50 million pounds of chili per year. Same thing with jalapenos. It processes over 4 million pounds of this jalapeno peppers per year. And of course, for those that work with us, whenever we cook tomatillos and enchilada sauce, going around the plant, whenever we go cook that stuff, we have a pleasant fragrance of food, and we do that plenty around the year. We have a large facility here in Deming, over 300,000 square feet in the warehouse area. We house a lot of the raw materials and so forth and finished product. We also have 100,000 square feet of a production area where we house about 17 production lines. And it would not be unusual for many lines to be operating all the time. We have many of the lines that operate during the summertime. And that's basically the punchline is that we're looking forward to a successful spring and summertime. We call it main pack, which is our busiest months of the year. And that's why we're reaching out to everybody to let you know we have great employment opportunities. And it would probably fill the house with about 900, possibly even 1,000 employees this year. And I'll tell you more. We have a number of departments, and the 2 departments that you see here on the slide that talks about production and labeling, I would say about these 2 departments house about 65 or 70% of the employee population. And we have opportunities in all these job titles. And let me tell you a little bit about it. For example, we have a lead position, leads. They have a lot of knowledge about the plant, about the processes, about the foods, about the operating procedures, checklists, and so forth. But more importantly, they require experience in leadership. So we have plenty of opportunities for leads going forward through the rest of the year. We also have machine operators, and many of the machine operators are required to be able to lift and carry about 25 pounds. In some locations require 40 and 50 pounds. For example, the batch maker requires the ability to be able to pick up 40 pounds at a time. But we have plenty of machine operators in the production areas. We have inspector positions that basically inspect the product all the way from the very beginning, where they dump the product into our conveyors to all the way to the finish line. And of course, there's a lot of folks called general laborers that basically help us throughout the process. And again, there's many other positions available in the production department. Labeling is very similar in that we have machine operators, but they have different machines, such as, they operate labelers, casers, packers, palletizers, and machines like that. And depending on their expertise, obviously they get compensated appropriately for the operation of those machines. We also have forklift drivers throughout the plant, but most prevalent is in the labeling department. And they require a lot of training and experience to be able to operate safely the forklift trucks that we have here on site. We also have material handlers that operate pallet jacks and so forth. And they do a lot of manual work. there are other positions too as well in the labeling department. Quality is always looking for talented folks as quality technicians. We need both quality technicians for first and second shift. And they basically wait for some of their products to come into the lab, or sometimes they go to the lines and pick up products at different stages of the process to make sure that we are satisfying our good manufacturing processes, our customers' expectations, and our own internal standards. So those are the folks that basically are sure that we're in compliance with our standards. Maintenance generally has openings, and currently we're looking for an electrician, somebody that knows a little bit about plant equipment. We're also looking for a seamer mechanic. This is a position that compensates well. It requires plenty of experience in seamer machines. And we're also looking for housekeepers. And we'll probably need more as we progress through the year. So we have opportunities for housekeepers. We even need folks in human resources. And yes, I'm looking for a couple of recruiters to join us to help us onboard the many talented people that we're looking for. So if anybody has any interest in those positions, please knock on our doors and we'll be glad to talk to you. We also need a couple of safety workers to be able to do what we do for the plant to ensure that we are compliant with our COVID practices and policy and procedures. We need safety workers to be able to come in and take temperatures and ensure that we're compliant again with our COVID policies. We also need folks for the safety department. We need a storeroom attendant who is there to make sure that we issue the right equipment to the employees and to the departments for their operational needs. And we also need a safety coordinator to make sure that we're compliant with all the OSHA standards and what have you. Okay, there are other departments that don't have any openings at this moment, but most likely come in May and June, they will have plenty of opportunities, such as in the warehouse, receiving, shipping, inventory areas, and even engineering, finance, and customer service or agricultural areas. They may have other opportunities too, but we'll have to wait around May and June for those type of opportunities. Let me tell you a little bit more about the Deming plant and the employment opportunities. Most of the positions that we have right now open are seasonal full-time, okay? But we also have regular full-time, and Mario in just a moment is going to be able to tell you the difference about both the seasonal and regular full-time employees and how they're able to gain benefits. Stand by for that wonderful news. I wanted to just make sure is that you understand that we have a number of shifts. The bulk of the operators, the bulk of the employees in the production areas belong to one of two shifts. Either it's a day shift or night shift. In other words, 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. They work 12-hour shifts and 6 days per week, okay? Now, there are others, the departments such as in the warehouse and labeling, maintenance, and even HR, that we have somewhat different hours. HR is obviously open to support both first and second shift. Labeling, for example, though, has shifts from 5 to 5 or from 6 to 4. And there are some employees that only work 50 hours and some other employees that work 60 hours a week. So it totally depends as to, what is your interest. If you want to work lots of hours or not too many hours, we have plenty of opportunities. Right now, for example, the HR department, as I said a second ago, is we're looking for safety laborers that are able to ensure that we comply with our COVID policies. Those employees will be working about 44 hours per week. So we have plenty of opportunities in the many departments. Wage-wise, obviously, we start our employees on first shift at $10.50 or $11.15 for second shift. But please, be aware is that for those folks that are semi-skilled and skilled positions, entering skilled positions, will have very higher and competitive wages based on experience and training. So we are certainly striving to compete in the marketplace and ensure that our employees are appropriately compensated. And we could talk about COVID. I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of is that we have intense policies that are in force 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We take temperatures of anybody that comes into the facilities. And we also require everybody to wear a face mask when entering the facilities. We require social distancing everywhere. Obviously, we encourage everybody to wash hands regularly, and we are advocates of wearing personal protective equipment or PPE. And we do a lot of disinfecting and sanitizing in the plant to make sure that our work areas, offices, and so forth are clean. We do this with our own staff, as well as with external vendors that come in and disinfect our plants on a weekly basis. We also have a lot of physical barriers for social distancing internally in offices and primarily in the plant. And of course, one of the things that is very important for us is to make sure that we conduct periodic plant-wide COVID testing. And we have full support from our employee workforce that come in and participate. In fact, just this morning, our plant was participating in a COVID testing exercise. That's it, Mario.
All right. Thank you for that information, George. So when it comes to benefits, we actually have very good benefits here at Olam. We do offer benefits for our regular full-time and our seasonal workforce. So going with the regular full-time, we do offer 2 medical packages, 2 dental packages to choose from. We also company paid benefits, our life insurance, short-term, long-term disability. So the employee still receives that, but does not have to pay for it. We also do offer a very, very competitive 401k in which we match 100% up to 6% of what you make pre-tax. And you do qualify for your medical benefits the first of the following month of when you're hired. And then your 401k actually starts as soon as you receive your first paycheck from Olam, you can register for 401k. So basically right away, you qualify. You're also fully vested when it comes to your 401k from the very beginning, meaning that whatever money the company has matched, even if you've only been here 2 months, you also get to take that with you. If you stop working here, if you get another job, if you get terminated, you still get to keep all that money. Okay. Moving on for the seasonal, we do offer benefits for them, although there are not as many choices. But first, 2 most important things: how do you qualify for seasonal benefits? You have to work 1,500 hours and you have to be 21 years of age or older in order to qualify for it. If you do hit those 2 points that I just mentioned, you are able to choose one medical package that brings a HSA, which stands for a health savings account, which is basically just a savings account for that you put away money aside per check that is saved in that particular account. A debit card is sent to you. And so anytime you go to the doctor or the dentist's office, your money's already on there and you just use that card because you've been putting money aside for it. So that's what an HSA does for you. And you also qualify for the 401k just as a regular full-time employee would. So you still get 100% match up to 6%, and you're still fully vested from the very beginning, even if you're seasonal. Okay. So that is our benefits for both seasonal and regular full-time employees.
Thank you, Mario. I wanted to just make sure is that I reiterate something that we alluded to earlier, is that seasonal employees that join us, after so many hours, they can start getting some benefits. And I wanted to make sure is that you also notice is that seasonal employees, when they join us, and based on good performance and good attendance, employees are selected for regular employment, so they can gain regular benefits, the month after they become regular employees. And Olam has a standard practice to do this, and we're very happy that we have this process in place. That said, is that I wanted to make sure is that you knew how to reach us. And we have at this moment folks that are standing by. All you have to do is call the 575-544-9127 number, and we'll have somebody talk to you about the many employment opportunities that we have for you and how it is that you can apply in our employment process. If you prefer to just come in and knock on our door and introduce yourself, and if you want to be interviewed for any of the jobs, all you have to do is just stop by here at 4065 J Street Southeast here in Deming, and we'll talk to you. No need to wait. Just come in and talk to us. We'll give you the application form, and we'll get you signed up for one of those orientation days. So please stop by and visit us. And we normally have, if you're not able to make it in today, obviously, we'll be ready for you tomorrow. Monday through Friday, we're open until 8 p.m. So we're looking forward to meeting all of you. Again, our number is 575-544-9127. That said, I just wanted to make sure is that we are hiring and we're looking forward to many folks in joining us this spring, and we'll stay, through the summer and so forth. At this moment, I guess we can take questions.
I don't see any questions at the time, but I do want to take the time to thank both Mario and George and everybody at Olam for taking the time this morning to sit and tell us about the jobs that you have available. If anybody has any questions, you can feel free to reach out to the Deming Workforce Office as well. The number here is 575-546-0192. You can check out all of the jobs that George has mentioned on their website as well as ours, which is www.jobs.state.nm.us. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat box. We'll give it a few minutes. It doesn't look like we have any questions at this time. Again, thank you, Olam, for taking the time to meet with us today.
Thank you very much. You have a beautiful day.
You as well.